Hey y'all, how you doing? Can you guys hear me okay? Hey. All right, let's see here. We're gonna get Miss Marshawn on here. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day today. I'm excited that we are doing a part two to dating while quarantine. Um, we weren't able to have Marshawn with us yesterday. She had some stuff going on, but she is joining us today, and I'm excited about it. So we're gonna have her joining us. There she is! Hey, Marshawn!
I made it today.
You did it! How you doing, girl?
I am doing excellent. Today is a great day. I had to come out in the garden because the house is too loud with everybody in quarantine. So, yeah, I'm doing good today. Today is a great day. So good.
That's awesome. We're excited to have you. Thank you for joining us. I know you saw the conversation yesterday. It was exciting to say the least, but your presence was definitely missed.
Thank you.
So for all those that don't know who you are, I'll start off because I didn't even formally introduce myself yesterday. I just started in with the live, assuming everybody knows who I am. But for our people in Facebook land, I am Chida Rebecca, the editor-in-chief of Black M Magazine. And this is Miss Marshawn, who is amazing. I think I met you has it been a year now? Like a year ago?
Yeah, about a year and a half, something like that.
Okay. So she's been contributing to the publication, but I'm going to allow her to tell you guys who she is because she's just amazing. If you've seen her stuff in the magazine, then you already know who she is, but I'll let her introduce herself and her background. So go ahead.
All right. So hello, everyone. Again, thank you for coming back today, especially those of you who are going to watch the replay. Thank you so much for coming back. But my name is Marshawn Olanio. I am a life and relationship strategist. And what that means is that I help you holistically with your life. I specialize in romantic relationships, but again, I help you with all of you. That's dating, that's in your marriage, that's in your long-term relationship, that is helping you with getting better at just taking care of yourself, especially for the ladies out there. That's who I really help, is the ladies, because we have a tough time with juggling everything in our lives. And we have a tendency to give. And because we're giving so much, we're actually depleting ourselves. We are draining ourselves. And then we get frustrated and resentful and ticked off and carrying all of this stuff within us. And so in order to stop doing that, I teach you how to take care of you mentally, physically, spiritually, holistically. So you can show up better, be a better mom, so you can show up and be a better wife or a better girlfriend, just a better partner overall. So if you're good, your relationship has a tendency to fall in line.
Yeah, that's awesome. So what made you want to talk about dating while quarantine? What kind of stuff have you been hearing going on right now, circulating in quarantine land as far as relationships and dating goes?
Um, what should I be doing? Is this a good time to do it? Like how to do it, because we're all in our homes. How to actually go about searching for people, or am I waiting for them to reach out to me? Which dating site is the best one to jump onto? Should I pay? Should I not pay? Should I do the free one? Like, what am I doing? Or should I just leave it all because I can't physically see anybody right now, and then wait until all of this is over and then come back to the drawing board? So it's a lot of different angles and questions that are being asked currently.
Cool. So where you want to start, girl? Which one? And we got Michael on standby. For those of you that were watching yesterday, we had Michael Martin Jr. on the live with us. There were three of us that were just kind of having just this candid conversation about dating and stuff. So he agreed to jump back on with us today. But yeah, we're all ears. Those of us that are in that.
Well, you know what? We can start with, is this a good time or not? Let's start there. Is this a good time to put yourself out there, specifically on the dating apps, and look for someone, or just putting yourself out there to see who's available, see who's in your area? I know that specifically Dree said that she doesn't date in her area in San Diego at all. She usually looks for the long distance. So Is it a good time period? The short answer is yes, it is. That's the short answer. The long answer we'll get into as we go throughout this talk today. But the short answer is this is the perfect time to do that. One of the things that I want to say is because it gives you an opportunity to slow everything down.
Yeah.
Instead of just jumping in full force, instead of doing something that you're going to regret later because you haven't really spoken to someone or someone hasn't caught your attention in the past and you don't think that this person is going to stay around for whatever reason. So then we do things to keep people around and then we regret them later. So instead of doing that, because you have to stay indoors, you cannot see this person. This gives you the opportunity to figure out and get to know them. Yes, there is the catfishing, right, that you have to worry about, but that's why you can still take it offline as far as just sending messages via the dating app. You can exchange numbers and do a Zoom call, do a FaceTime, do a Skype, so you can actually see this person. Right. But this is the perfect time to do it so you can slow everything down.
That makes sense. That's fair. So where do you recommend somebody to start? Like if they're, now they're realizing, you know what, I'm quarantined, I don't have anything to do. Is there a best app? Is there a best approach? Like even in making profiles, like what's the best thing to do if you're starting out in this?
If you're starting out in this, I would go the free routes because you're just trying to get your feet wet. And you also are trying to figure out what's the best way to be or how to show up on these things. So some of the things that would help you stand out is to, number one, have a current picture, not just a picture, not the one where you was 20 pounds or 30 pounds slimmer. No, because that is where we were talking about the catfishing, right?
Yeah.
You look like this person, but you don't really look like this person no more. So however you look currently, you want to have at least 3 pictures. The 3 pictures, you want to have one where you're just by yourself, right? You can have one where you're with 1 or 2 other people, but again, you're actually in the photo. And then you can have one of you doing something that you like, whether it's playing your guitar or hiking or whatever, surfing, whatever it is, that's your thing, right? So you want to have a minimum of 3 pictures up there where you're doing different things. You do not want to have every single picture of you and multiple people because nobody knows which one they're talking to.
Okay.
So don't set yourself up for them really wanting to talk to the friend.
Yeah, right. That's a good point. That is a really good point. Yes. Yes. That's a good point. So one thing I noticed with the apps is that, unlike 10, 12 years ago, there are all these different paid situations. So like you get your foot in the door and you get access to just enough of the app or the dating program, and then it's like, well, you got to pay for this and then pay for this. You want a super boost? We can super boost you and put your profile at the top of everybody else's. And there's just like all these bells and whistles that are now implemented in the websites and the apps. And it's like, dude, really? Like, this is a lot. So I did notice though, if you don't initially sign up for everything, like you sign up for a profile, but you don't get like the full premium subscription, like in 30 days, they'll offer you like a discount on the full premium. So that was something I noticed.
Yeah. Well, that's a way to finagle the system, right? Because they want to keep you on the platform. And so a way to keep you on the platform is to give you another little nugget, right? So you're already on the platforms, but you can buy in. Maybe you can't talk to everybody or that one that you really eyeing. And now you can upgrade. So just wait a little while, but just get your feet wet. But also, you can always just opt out of all of that stuff, right? As far as the bells and whistles go, because by writing down your profile, like specifics about you, having the pictures up there and saying what you really want can boost up, right? It can already boost you up in the algorithm, right? Without having to buy all of the bells and whistles. If you make a really great profile in the beginning, then you will automatically be put in a good algorithm, right? So more people are seeing who you are already.
Okay. Is that why there's little like notifications like add more about yourself, say more of this, do that?
For sure. Okay. Because the people that have the most or at least maybe not the most, because some people just get overly detailed about themselves and they got 2 books up there. Nobody's reading that. So, no, nobody's reading that. So if you can have at least 2 to 3 good paragraphs that explains who you are and what you're looking for on there. It's short enough where I'm not there all day. It's long enough that's going to give me an insight to who you are. So it's basically giving me tidbits of information about you to see if I want to call you or see if I want to message you, etc. Find out more about you.
Yeah,
and then,
that makes
sense. I'm sorry. And then
no, I just said that makes sense. That's cool. Yeah.
Okay. And then you also do not want to just write them all in sentences like, I'm funny, right? Tell a story about how you funny, or at least show in the pictures how you are a funny person, whether it's dancing, actually laughing, where all your pictures like, I'm here. No, nobody's clicking on that, right? So if you can actually tell a story about the things that you like instead of saying I'm smart, I'm beautiful, people say blah, blah, blah. If you can tell a story about why you like the guitar, right? So I like the guitar because my dad used to play it with me, and then we started training together, and now it's one of my best things. And then you can show a picture of you actually playing the guitar, something where it's a connection. So when somebody messages you, they can say, oh, I like the guitar too. Can you tell me blah, 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 right? So there's already a connection, and that's also an easy icebreaker. It's an easy icebreaker as well.
Yeah, yeah. So that's a good. So point number 1 is basically get your 3 good pictures up, mix them up a little bit, and tell who you are. Not a book, but enough to grab some interest.
Yeah, not a book. Not a book.
Okay. And so then after that, what next?
What next? Okay, then you gotta. Okay, so here's the thing. Yeah, I put my hands on my hips because. So here's the thing. I'm speaking specifically to the ladies out there.
Okay.
Because we as ladies, we have a tendency to always be old school in certain aspects, and then we want to be new school in other aspects. In this aspect, women have a tendency to still think that only the men are going to message or reach out initially. Put that hand down. Don't do that no more. Because with you just waiting around, you're actually getting passed by all of the people when I was in the dating pool that I would just put myself out there, or I am the bold one. I'm the bold friend. So I'm just gonna walk up to you and ask you how you doing, or I like something about you. I'll just go give you a compliment. Because that does not happen often, they're latching on like, wait a minute, hold on. No, wait, don't leave. Hold on, wait a minute, because now they're curious because women don't do that. So my point to bring that up is still, even now, most women are waiting for the men to find them. And with you waiting, you're getting passed by because of all the few, but the few that are being bold to put themselves out there are getting to the guy first or getting to the girl first. But specifically here, I'm talking to the ladies. So we still are waiting around and getting passed by.
Okay. I'll make a note of that.
Yes, make a note.
Yes, I'll make a note. So after that, you find somebody, you're clicking with them. How should you go about? Because clearly we're not in a space where we can just say, hey, meet me at the coffee shop. But like, what would be the appropriate thing to do after you've established that you are interested in someone and you want to, go to the next step in getting to know them?
Okay. So I would definitely do, this is going to differentiate for every single person out there in your comfort level with this person. Some people can feel very comfortable in a few hours and decide to exchange numbers or decide to at least go through, like I said, Zoom or Skype. I would try to keep it as private as possible. So I would give them a Zoom call or a Skype call versus your phone number at this point. Yeah. But again, it's different for each person because it depends on your comfort level. So as long as you are comfortable enough with sharing your information, then I would definitely get on the phone.
Okay.
And if they don't want to automatically see you right away because maybe they're just not dressed or whatever the case may be, get on the phone with them for a few hours. Do that for a little while, right? And then so you're not worried about being catfished, because at some point this quarantine is going to be over and you have to get off a line to meet these people in person, right? So you cannot stay online with online dating. Online dating is just another platform to meet people, but you have to actively go out there and meet them as if you met them face to face. So with that being said, Exchange numbers, talk to them like that for a while. If they're comfortable enough, if you're comfortable enough, then do the FaceTime, the Zoom or the Skype. Or if you did give out your phone number, then maybe FaceTime or whatever those Android people have. Do that.
Okay. Right. The Android people. Yes. The other people.
That's funny.
So I saw yesterday, we didn't go through your list, which was probably good because we could save it for you to do. But I did see one of the first things that you noted on there was that a good idea, maybe a good thing to start with is watching a movie together.
Yes. Okay. So again, with this is, you're doing all of this virtually right now.
Yeah.
So you guys can talk about, so this is also giving you things to talk about to see if you like certain things or what you guys have in common, right? So you guys can start talking about what your favorite movies are. And what is your all-time favorite movie that is like your go-to? And I know some of you guys mentioned Love Jones and Love and Basketball as far as like our movies for our love, right? But whatever your movie is. And if the person is interested, then you guys pick a date and time as if you were going to meet. Turn on the movie, so y'all can do it one of two ways. Y'all can either both start the movie, like find the movie, whatever it's on, whatever platform it's on, start it at the exact same time. Or you guys can actually on one person's computer or TV start it, and then the other person is like side by side, obviously virtually.
Aww.
Right? So like y'all on a date, right? That's funny.
Cute.
So you can do it one of two ways, and then at some point in the movie, depending on how you discuss the movie, if you watch the entire movie and then discuss it, or if you like me and my husband, we're discussing it throughout the movie. Do it the way that you want to do it. But this is a way to give the person a little more information about you, who you are, what you like. Do I like it? Or maybe I never even heard about this particular movie, and I'm glad that you introduced it to me. So we have to be creative right now. And that's all this is. Everything I'm going to talk about today is being creative to keep the fire burning, or at least the interest burning right now. So when you meet them in person, you're like, okay, chemistry was great virtually, and I kind of like you in person too. So you can just take it to the next level. But again, you're slowing everything down. I'm gonna keep saying that because this is the perfect opportunity not to introduce sex too early on, because many of us have done that and feel the guilt and the shame and the why did I do that. So yeah.
Got you. So I'm taking notes too. So I don't want to get ahead of your list or your other situation. So yeah. So did I miss something between the profiling, the connecting, and then like the movie, the first date situation?
Okay, just speaking more often, where you're being intentional about making sure that you guys are keeping in contact with one another, whether that's text, email. I'll say whatever. So text and email, but I would really rather you not doing email. Text, email, phone call, because email is just like, is this my pen pal, right? Are we pen pals? And then also keeping the text messages short as possible, because text messages can get misconstrued and taken out of context.
Yeah.
Especially when you're first getting to know someone, you're like, they're saying it as a joke, but then you taking it personally. And because you two do not know one another on that level, you're like, oh no, I'm not fooling with him no more. I'm not fooling with her no more. She went over the line. He went over the line, but you don't really know, because you don't know that person. You don't know that person's personality.
Yeah.
So as much as possible, limit the text messages just until you guys get to know one another, because that can be taken so crazy.
Yeah.
It could be taken so crazy, and everything could be ended off of a misunderstanding. But because you guys were not conversing, you don't know that it was a misunderstanding.
Right.
And you could potentially miss it on somebody that was really great and a great fit for you. So stay away from the texting, especially the deep conversations. Ladies have this bad. Yes, I know. I'm not trying to pick on you ladies, but y'all have this bad. Don't do the deep conversations in the text message. Don't do that.
Yeah. You know what? I noticed the texting, there's such an interesting generational thing going on, because in spaces where I've talked to older men, guys that are older than me, they're more into phone conversations. And then the guys younger than me are more texting, or they'll just jump right into FaceTime, which is a little surprising because, we didn't grow up with FaceTime. I mean, we did the the telephone stuff, but it's just like, whoa, you want to FaceTime already, you know? So it's interesting, I guess, depending on your age too, or what, you know, what space you identify with, like how to find that happy medium. Because I'm not a big phone person.
Okay.
If the conversation's good, cool, but I find some comfort in texting because I can get straight to the point. So I guess it's finding that just that comfortability and just being comfortable to sit on the phone with awkward silence sometimes, or feeling like you don't have to fill those spaces all the time, or you know that you have to give your undivided attention usually when you're on the phone. So I did notice that generationally though, the differences with preference.
But is that such a bad thing? You giving them your undivided attention?
It's not. No. No, it's not. Yeah. I think too, for me personally, I'm used to multitasking too. So of course when you're texting, you gotta like stop and do that. But I guess it definitely depends on the person. But just noticing the ways in which we communicate and what the preference may be for certain age demographics is interesting.
But here's the thing, even with that, all you have to do is communicate that. So most people don't communicate that. We think that the other person is supposed to be a mind reader, right? We're still getting to know one another.
Yeah.
But for some reason, we feel like we can't say, I'm really not a phone person. Can we text? Or can we find a way to balance this out because I'm more comfortable in this right here?
Right.
For some reason, we feel that we can't say that. But guess what? You absolutely can. Because then they'll understand why you're so short on text or why you're so short on the phone and not be turned off, because now they understand where you're coming from.
Yeah.
But if we never verbalize this stuff, then they're like, well, nah, I'm not getting a connection with her. I'm not getting a connection with him. So you can eliminate that by just having this conversation like, hey, you know what? I'm really not a big phone person, but I will do it for you. However, you know, you got to do some things for me, right?
Right.
So, I actually like to text more. So you're going to have to text a little bit more than you're comfortable with. And I'll get on the phone and be out of my comfort zone a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Because all of us really want to stay in our comfort zone. And when you're trying to get to know somebody, that's just not going to happen all the time.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, I'm making notes. Okay. All right, what else you got? And Michael said he is standing by, so let me know when you want to pull him in. But
I'm ready for him. I'm ready for him. Now.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Let me invite Michael into the conversation. Let's see here. All right. I asked people if they had any questions too, so if they pop up with any on the thread, we will go from there. Let me switch my. Well, let's see here. I think it'll jump him in momentarily.
Okay, sure thing.
Okay. I think he's on his way. Probably caught him off guard too. I know he was waiting by. Like, wait, she's doing it now.
It's okay.
So yeah, I can add him in when he pulls in. But if you want to go to your next point, that's totally cool. We can do that. Oh wait, no, here he comes. Here he comes.
Hey. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon.
How are you doing?
Well, and yourselves.
Good. Let me play around with this. Well. There we go.
Yeah, that's better. Good.
Cool. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me. Marshawn, pleasure to meet you officially.
Can you hear him, Marshawn?
Not really.
Oh.
Well, I'm saying hi.
No, she can't. I can hear her and I can hear you. Can you hear me, Marshawn?
I can hear you loud and clear.
Okay, but you can't hear him.
No.
Oh.
I can hear her loud and clear.
He said he can hear you.
Oh, then how am I going to answer his questions? Are you going to have to just say them and repeat them? Because I
can filter it through. Well,
Okay,
first he said I can filter it through. He said it was a pleasure meeting you officially.
Oh, see, I'm looking like a schmuck. I didn't even respond.
All right.
Pleasure meeting you too, Michael. Thank you for coming back today. This is a pleasure for sure.
Indeed.
Yeah. So no, I'm gonna let you take the floor, Marshawn, and because I know you said you were intrigued by some of the conversation yesterday as well. But yeah, feel free. You got a lot of great stuff to say.
Okay, let's go to the next point.
Okay.
And then I want to bring Michael in because you brought up some great points yesterday, and I want to know if you can like re-ask the question so we can converse about it here today, if that makes sense. Okay. So I want to talk about the next point. So when you're getting to know someone and you guys are officially say, okay, we're going to actually see what this is about. Maybe we'll watch a movie, or maybe we'll just, continuing to know this person, right? So another way to do that, since we cannot see one another, is to write a good old-fashioned letter. Pen to paper, not email. Email don't give you the same effect. You can do email, but email don't give you the same effect. So if there's something that you guys spoke about, but you couldn't talk about it on there for some reason, you couldn't take a deep dive into it for whatever reason, maybe you just ran out of time or whatever reason, right? You can put pen to paper so they can have a deeper understanding of why you thought about this thing this way, or why you decided to do X, or whatever the conversation was, right? And then you can also, I really like you. Right? I really like speaking with you. Like, just for real, take old school actions. And this is also something that, especially if the relationship goes further, this is something that the other person is going to keep. It is also something that, like a memorabilia, right? So you can hold on to it. As the relationship matures and grows, if you guys make it to the distance where you can show your children, your grandchildren, this is something that would be a very sweet gesture to hold on to. When we were dating and we were in 2020 and 2020 when we were quarantined, we were just getting to know, you could have one of those stories later on. But I think that it's something that's sweet, but then also to give you a chance to speak where you're not being interrupted. Because that's another thing that I'm noticing, is that when you're speaking to someone and you having a conversation back and forth, you don't a lot of times get your full thoughts out. And so pen to paper is a way to fully express yourself, to get out what that thought was. As well as, it's sweet. Like, I want to open up my mailbox. Like, I need to tell my husband to watch this. I want to open up my mailbox and get me a letter, okay? Because that's just or a card or whatever it is. Wait, what is Michael saying? I can't hear.
What'd you say, Michael?
Message.
You said message. You go message.
Right, message. So I need to get that sweet letter. But anyway, my point is, it would be really nice. You don't know, right, that this letter is coming. And then you go to your mailbox. Oh, I got a letter from Michael. What did he say? You ripping it open and you acting whatever. You acting all giddy and everything. It's just a really sweet gesture, for sure.
I like that. Then there's that whole comfortability of like, I'll give you my P.O. box.
Whatever. As long as you can get the letter, China. Okay.
Right.
Get the letter.
It's just for postal mail, not for you to show up. Just U.S. Postal Service. That's what.
Give them the P.O. box.
Give them the P.O. box.
The gesture.
As long as you can get the
gesture, right?
That's all I'm saying. As long as you can get that. Even with that, it's still a sweet gesture, because most people that have P.O. boxes, you're not checking it every day.
Right,
so
right,
when
right.
you do go and check it, it's like, oh,
yeah.
How long has this been sitting here? Right?
Yeah.
You go through your whole little thing.
Yeah. I love that idea. It's actually a great idea, because it does add us an extra sentiment to the whole thing. Like, somebody actually took the time to sit and write out their thoughts and have the patience to wait. They know they're going to mail it. Like, there's a lot of thought put in that. So I do like that. That's cool. Yeah.
All right. You're gonna have to translate for Michael.
Okay.
I can't hear him.
I'll be the middle person.
Thank you for facilitating.
He's ready.
Okay. Just some of the things that you were mentioning yesterday, where you were like really just taking a deep dive into, like, we need to slow things down, right? and with you working on yourself. Can you talk about what you actually did to work on yourself and some of the things that I know you mentioned some of them yesterday, but was there something else that you mentioned that you noticed that being quarantined and you working on yourself is doing for you?
All right. So the initial question that came up, or my proposal to the group, was to discuss what we are doing. What are we doing during the quarantine in the dating aspect? And I said, well, I'm in essence, I'm dating myself.
So basically, he was reiterating that to the group. You know, the question was, what are we doing during the quarantine? And he said, I'm dating myself.
So what I'm doing during this time frame is taking time to find out what I really enjoy doing by myself. So when the time does come for me to be involved with someone, I can share or create that space to share with her what I like to do, and find
So
out
he's
whether or
taking.
not.
Oh, I mean, I'm gonna get that.
Yeah.
He's taking time to enjoy what it is he likes to do by himself.
Okay.
So when he does find the person that he wants to spend time with, he can share with her what it is he actually enjoys doing by himself. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. This is a listening exercise. This is great. This is great.
You're working on your listening. That's good. That's
Yeah.
good. But you know what? That's Michael. That's actually perfect that you're doing that, because one of the things that I'm also noticing when I am coaching my clients is that most people have a tendency to lose themselves when they get in a relationship, and they have a tendency to become codependent, right? So everything that they were doing prior to meeting this person, prior to getting to the relationship with this person, they stop doing those things. And then as time goes on, they're wondering, who am I? What happened? Last year I was doing X. But that usually comes when you get mad at the person, right? So when y'all hunky-dory, y'all good, and y'all falling in love with each other and always around each other and everything is great, it's fine, it's no problem. It's the times that you really need to focus on yourself, especially when the relationship is not in a great spot, when you guys have argued or whatever, and then you're wondering, what are you going to do to get back to yourself? So doing the things that you are falling in love with yourself all over again, doing all of those things, whether it's exercising, whether it's meditating, whether it's going running, hiking, whatever it is that you like to do, continue to do those things once you get into a relationship, because you do not want to always be stuck side by side with this person, and then you lose your individuality. You still have to be an individual while you're in a relationship and building this empire and the relationship together. You still have to be an individual person. So self-care, which is what I teach, self-care is utmost importance, because most people, they feel frustrated or become resentful and just don't really know how to handle what they're doing or which moves to make when their partner pisses them off. And so if you never stop doing the things that you enjoy, you will never lose yourself, or never feel like, for some reason, if the relationship doesn't work out, you're like, well, who am I? What am I doing? How do I start this life all over again? No, you already have things in place that you know that you like to do. So you just continue to do those things.
That's good. So that was your first thing, Michael. What was your...
Yes. Finding the way to recraft how I communicate, to include being a more active listener. And what I mean by that is...
Wait, he said finding a way to recraft how he communicates so that he could be a more active listener. And he was about to expound on that. So, yes.
Okay, wait. So since you can hear me, what were you doing, or how were you communicating prior to?
Good question. I'll do my best to summarize this. I would like to say I was a good listener, if you will. I would like to say I was a good communicator. Yet during this time, it was time for me to do a little self-discovery and not get comfortable with how I was doing things. Because it's not to say that everyone that I communicated with, one, heard my message and received what I had to say, or vice versa. I was able to see what they had to say. So during this quarantine, a little internal dialogue. What can I do to be a better listener, to be a better communicator? So I'm not falling in love with my own ideas on how to communicate with everyone, to include my potential partner.
I so wish he gave such a great answer. I hate to chop it up. He said
Chop it
It's
up,
okay. It's
chop
okay.
it up, China. Chop it up, China. Because I
this
was
is
looking for
great.
both.
This is great. This is a great answer. But basically, he was saying he felt like he was a good communicator. He didn't want to get comfortable in the fact that he was a good communicator, and recognizing that everybody didn't always receive or interpret his messaging the way that he was giving it, and taking his time. Am I saying that correctly? Taking his time to like self-discover and kind of reevaluate how he was communicating. So not just going off of what he was accustomed to doing, but just reassessing, like, is this really working? Are they really receiving my message? You know, can I be more effective in my communication style?
And so, what
Good.
specifically did you do?
Perfect.
Good.
Huh?
He said it was perfect. I was
Communication has occurred.
good. Okay, yeah, go ahead, Marshawn.
So I was just asking him, what specifically did you do?
Meditation for starters.
Meditation for starters.
Not trying to quiet the mind, but just observing the mind.
Okay. He said not trying to quiet the mind, but just observing the mind.
Yes. I'm sorry. Go. That one's great. That one's great.
I like that.
I have two books that have been the staple to my reading, my library, if you will. These two books discuss the dynamic between the man and the woman in terms of communicating. So I read those books entirely a couple years back, but I've since then reverted back to a few of the topics in the book just to go back and reevaluate again how I can be a better communicator once this quarantine is lifted.
So he said there were two stable books that he read that discussed the dynamics between men and women. He read them a couple years ago, but he has since opted to go back and revisit some of the things they discussed in the book that helped him navigate the process.
One is you just don't understand. That's one. Is women and men in the conversation. That's one.
It said, I think he said, is you just don't understand. What'd you say? It's men and women in the comments. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. He's getting the second book.
And my other is women, men, and language.
Women, Men, and Language is the second book.
Oh, I like that. I like the title.
Mm-hmm.
And so, okay, so after you have revisited those things, and now are you implementing these things? Because, right, if I remember correctly, you're not dating, but you're open to it. So are you implementing these things with even your friends and family, with your communication?
My colleagues at work, as well as my close friends and family members. And that comes by way of enjoying the conversation we have on the telephone. What is it? Just simply listening and enjoying the conversation and waiting for the chance, whether it's a natural pause or just enjoy the comfortable silence. Just knowing that I gave them a chance to be heard.
So he said he's definitely implementing this with colleagues at work and with family and friends, and doing it through conversations on the phone, taking the time to enjoy the conversations and listen to them. Can you hear me, Marshawn? Did something happen?
What's going on?
Uh-oh. It's cutting up.
I can't hear neither one of you now.
You might have to X out and come back in. Can you hear us? Can you hear me?
Can you hear me at all?
Yeah.
You hear me? Can you hear me, Micah? Wait, talk. Speak.
Hello.
I still can't hear you.
Marshawn, I wonder if you exit and come back in, will that help? Can you hear me?
I can't hear you either, China.
So I wish we knew sign language.
Hello.
I was gonna say exit and come back in. leave and then come
Is there
back.
a way I can leave and come back?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, look, I'm gonna see if I could. Okay, she's gonna try it.
Okay.
That's really strange. Let's see if this works. Let's see if this works.
As she's working her way back, I had a question that I posed to those of us who were on the call today, which was during this quarantine, we talk about chemistry. Will
Mm-hmm.
chemistry be redefined once we are lifted from the quarantine? Because
Right.
generally speaking, the chemistry is that fit those physical attributes. Well, we are we since removed that particular way of communicating with people. So chemistry, and I know it will be, but who's willing to discuss how it will be redefined?
Right. Can you hear Marshawn?
Both of you.
Yes.
Okay. I'm excited. Okay. I'm sorry.
Okay,
I
Michael, you got to
interrupted.
say that over because it was just great. So she can hear you. She can have the benefit of enjoying hearing you say it.
My question was, Marshawn, in regards to chemistry. That was a great point you brought up. And my question is, will chemistry be redefined, and how will it be redefined? Because conventional wisdom, the chemistry is on physical attributes of the prospective person of interest.
Mhm.
That the physicality has since been removed because we are in this current situation now. So, how will chemistry be redefined once quarantine is lifted?
Okay, once the quarantine's okay, perfect. So I personally feel that it's not going to be as redefined as we think. I think because we still have the aspects of seeing one another if we're brave enough to exchange information, whether Zoom or Skype or FaceTime, whatever. You're still able to see people, right? There is limited what you can see, but if the person's okay, so their personality at this point is still going to win over the entire package. Let's put it that way, because there's still going to be some aspects of you being able to see this person. But if their personality, if you guys are able to connect right over the phone, if you are sweet enough to write the letter or them writing the letter to you, there is going to be a deeper connection. But the physical is still going to play a part. I totally feel that the physical is still going to play a part after all of this is over, for sure. I don't think that that's going to be away completely. Do I think that it's going to be limited today? Yes, it's going to be limited. But still, if you guys, again, implement the seeing each other aspect virtually, then you will still get a chance to say, I physically like what I see, at least right here in this square, in this box. I mean, the person could actually stand up and let you get a full, right? They could move back if you wanted to.
Take advantage, right? Take advantage of the technology we have.
Yeah. So I don't think that it's going to change as much as we think it is. And on top of that, we as people in general are just physical beings, but men more so, right? Ladies, we can fall in love emotionally and we could just hear you and, we melt a little bit. Men, you're slower to do that, because you need to see, right? You're visual creatures. So even with that, or I should say added with that, coupled with that, the physical is not going to change as much as we believe.
Cool. So I think, Michael, you were going through your books. She was asking how you were practicing that listening style. And we were talking about the fact that you were implementing the practice with your colleagues, your family and friends, and you were taking advantage of the conversations you were having and learning to sit and enjoy the conversations and waiting for those natural pauses and those quiet moments so that you could feel that the other person you were speaking to actually completed their thought, finished their sentence, and then you would come in showing that I was listening to you. I'm giving you a chance to kind of break, and now I'll speak.
Yes. Regardless of that, if that's a love language, it's just for me, a way for me to let the person know that I'm listening.
Mm-hmm.
You mean that much to me. I'm listening.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So you're giving them the floor to fully express themselves without you interrupting, without their thoughts being interrupted because you interrupted them. Right. So that is a way to show that you respect what they're saying, you're honoring what they're saying, and you even appreciate them divulging that information to you.
Yes.
Right. So it's like a complete circle that helps you both understand. And then what most people don't realize is when you let your friends and family, and especially your significant other, just express without you having to solve, that one's for the men, you just sitting there, listening, being there, whatever it is that they're going through, 9 times out of 10 goes away, because now they've gone through the cycle of releasing. Because really, that's all we, most of the time, not every time, but most of the time, that's all we need. We just need to get it out, release it. Not necessarily solve it that moment. I just want to talk about it. I want to vent about it. I don't want you to help me. I just want to talk about it. And that's for both sexes. But men just have a tendency to solve. I want to get this out of the way. Oh, your boss is doing what? I'm going up there. No, I just want you to listen to me today. That's it. I just want to get it out and say he just smuck and just release it. Right? So that's perfect that you're doing that you're practicing it now, because it's only going to help you in your romantic relationship. That person is going to feel heard, going to feel understood and respected and loved, which is what all of us want. It's what all of us want.
And if I can add to that, I want to ensure that I am not looking for it to be reciprocated. It's hard.
Wait a minute, say that again.
Moving forward, I'm ensuring that I'm not looking for it in return. So if she does not show that back, I won't feel jaded, if you will. It's just something that I will continue doing.
It's very interesting.
Okay. Well, please tell. What's interesting about that?
I think it's interesting because for me, maybe I'm big on reciprocity, but I think that just shows, that puts some value on the interaction. That, listening is just something we take for granted. To be able to fully hear somebody and not talk to them to speak, but talk to them and understand them, and to hear them and to connect with them. So to kind of feel like that maybe the other person can get away with not doing that. Like, I think my question would be, how do you know that they're reciprocating it, but in their own way? Like, what other ways can they show you that they're doing what you're doing, but not the way you're doing it?
Oh, okay, wait. So let me back up and say this. It's good that you're actually going into it like that, where you're putting it all on you, right? So I want to do this. It doesn't have to be a thing that they have to do. But here's the thing. The interesting thing that will happen naturally is that the other person will do exactly what you're doing. It might not happen right away, but they'll notice that you're actually giving them the space to speak, to open up, to be who they fully are, and just giving them a chance to release. And at some point, if they're not narcissistic, then they'll reciprocate it anyway, without you having to say, this is what I'm doing. They'll just notice what you're doing and do it because you're doing it, not realizing that it's actually helping the relationship. So if you continue to do that, being selfless, just putting yourself out there, like, this is something that I'm going to do. So basically you're taking full responsibility for how this conversation is going to flow, not necessarily turn out, but flow. You're going to be there. You're going to listen. You're going to allow them to do and say whatever they need to. And then when the pauses come, or if they happen to ask you a question, you can say, okay, I heard you. You repeat a couple things, paraphrase, like, I heard you, and then answer the question. So that lets them know that, yes, I did hear what you had to say. I wasn't just sitting here saying, I was fully present.
Yes.
I was here in the moment with you. I gave you that respect. And now you can answer or even ask a question if need be, to continue moving on. And all of this is helping you to connect deeper, helping you to understand each other better. And I don't remember the numbers off top of my head, but statistics actually show that because we as creatures like to speak about ourselves, when a person allows you the space to just speak, they feel more connected to you. And I can't remember the percentage, but if you notice, your friends that you really, really like, they give you the space. The friends that you gravitate toward, that you always want to be around, right? They make you feel good. Those feel good people also give you the space to just release and be yourself without the judgment. So we want to be heard, understood, loved, and again, not judged either. Right? I want to be able to come to you and say whatever I need to say about anything, even if I feel it's stupid. I want to share it with you. Let's talk about it. Even if you're like in the back of my hell no, you still giving your partner the time, energy, space, and respect to just get it out. And then y'all can converse about it, right? You don't have to agree with everything, but you want to give them the opportunity to come to you about any and everything, regardless of the topic. Regardless.
I like
The
that.
quarantine is giving me time to exercise these upcoming conversations by just taking time for self and realizing that I am and I will evolve. Now I don't have the time to do it. It's yeah, little self-discovery about those evolving attributes about myself.
That's perfect. That's perfect.
I know you are. What am I?
Oh. Okay, so I'm gonna move to the next thing. One of the other things that you actually can do together is figure out a game that you can play. My example is Hangman because I like it, right? You just write your little spaces with the little, whatever it is to hang the person, and then you guys play a game together, whatever the game may be. My example is Hangman. Maybe you can play checkers together. Obviously, one of you are going to move both pieces. Figure out a way to do that. Play chess, right? So figure out playing a game together, even if it's a charades or something, right? Or just make it fun. Really, that's all it is about. You're making it fun, so I'm not bored when I'm on the phone with you. And then I'm feeling like, oh, I had a great time speaking to Michael. I had a great time. I want to do this again. So when are we going to do it again? And then you're making sure that you're building up a lot of great fun times with some serious moments sprinkled in there, because you are still gathering information for sure. Right. Because you want to see if this person is somebody that you could build a life with. So you're constantly gathering information, but you don't want to make it so serious as Reginald, if I remember, Reginald put in there, don't make it an interview, right? Don't make it an interview. That's not what you're trying to do. But at the same time, you are asking questions that would benefit you to see if this person is bringing something to the table that you actually can come together with. Mm-hmm. Right. And again, build the life together. So there's a lot of stuff to think about, but also you don't want to make everything so serious, because life is serious. And if I got to come home to a serious partner, where's the fun? Right. Where's the fun?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Is there any danger in? Okay, I'm not going to start off with the word danger.
No, let's do it. You already put it out there. Let's go.
Well, maybe some people are in spaces, single people that might not have children at home, and it's just work. Like maybe they're in spaces where they have a little more time to communicate than they would have normally had their, before the pandemic. So should there be any limitations on conversation? Like this is already a different space that we're in, so could you be giving someone too much time?
Yes, you can. So as fast as you jump into the dating scene, because we're so eager, right, to get ourselves out there, most people are still looking for a partner, etc., right? As fast as you are building this relationship is as fast as it's gonna fizzle out, because you feel like you're giving as much as you can give. And if I'm giving all of this stuff right now, what do I have left to give? This is where a lot of times people get ghosted, because the other person just gave. They take you on all the extravagant things that they wouldn't normally do. They're not spacing it out. They're doing it all in short bursts of time. And then all of a sudden they're like, this is way too much. Or they feel like, I'm in a relationship that I didn't really realize that I was in, so I'm gonna ghost you anyway. So either way, at the end, you still getting ghosted. So you have to figure out a way to pace these things. So yes, you can talk too long. You can tell too much, too early, right? Feel like, well, I'm just letting them know that I want to be married and have 3 kids. Slow down. Like, slow down. You can say that information, but there is definitely a time to say those things. And not all at the same time, where you're just like, this is what I want. You either gonna give it to me or not. Like, who wants an ultimatum? No, I actually don't want it. So, or not. Let's choose that, or not.
Yeah. I don't know
So
if
you're
you heard
setting yourself
Jasmine's,
up.
I didn't know if you heard Jasmine's comment yesterday where a gentleman they were messaging and like it was really early on and he just
Mhm.
came out and told her he had an STD and was she okay with that? And she was like, I wasn't even thinking about getting down with him like that. But since he mentioned it, she said it really made her reflect on like, is this something I want to deal with? Like, do I want to go this direction with him since he mentioned it? So I would, I don't know, I was shocked. It's definitely those are important questions, but she just said it happened so early, and I'm like, oh my God, he told you? Like, did you give him a hug? Well, she's like, no, it was okay. I was like, that's a lot to come out and disclose that so early on. But she said they continued interacting. They, nothing came of it, but
she also did say, because I did hear her. I did hear her. She did say that it also made her think that I'm not gonna have sex with you. Like, so he already set himself up. Yes, it is a very important conversation to have, but they at this, if I remember correctly, excuse me, they hadn't even met. If I remember her story correctly, they hadn't even met. So I don't even know if I like you. Period. Right. I don't even know if I like you. We haven't met. Again, because she brought up catfishing, right? So you could catfish me. You might actually not be this person, or we could have so much good chemistry on the phone, but none in person. So I don't even. Yeah, he gave that away too soon, and he also set himself up to at least not make it with Jasmine. But if he's also continuing to do that, he's probably going through a lot of different conversations.
Yeah. Instead of so you're now putting that person in a space to have to deal with your issue versus getting to know you. The person is saying, I like you and you happen to have this issue. You know what I'm saying? But now it's you have this issue and it's like, whoa, like that overshadows everything about you. Your physical condition.
And it's too much way too soon. So what I actually like to tell people, clients, friends, family, I like to just tell them in the beginning for the first several conversations, no more than 2 hours. This includes face-to-face. Some people have those 5 and 6 hour dates or 24-hour dates. That's way too much. And then guess what happens? Here comes sex, because now I'm so comfortable. And then you're like, why did I give sex? I don't know why I did this. And then here comes the biggest thing. Which was mainly he, but she's do this too. They don't want to get to know me no more. We used to talk on the phone all the time. We used to do, you set yourself up for failure. Slow it down. Slow it down.
That makes sense. Yeah.
So the quarantine gave us nothing but that time to do exactly that.
Slow it down. And then,
I was already on that path anyway, but this quarantine definitely gave me more time to slow things down.
Yeah. But that's a beautiful thing. It really is, because again, you don't have to worry about those guilt conversations or guilt feelings or why did I, or even worrying about if this person ghosts you. As Jasmine mentioned, when that happened, she just moved on because they never had sex, and it's like, okay, whatever. But you can do that a lot easier if you do not lie down with this person, if you do not give them a piece of your soul or create a soul tie with them. If you don't do that, then you don't have to worry about it, right? It's easier to say, well, you know what? Thank you. It actually helped me. Versus, oh my goodness, I really liked him. The sex was the bomb, or you going back and forth and doing all that stuff, right? And then again, you stop getting to know one another because you introduce sex too early.
Makes sense.
So 2 hours. 2 hours, yes.
Is it good to set like designated times? Like I can talk to you between like 5 and 7, or like if they happen to call you, like is it good to set up a structure?
Well, it depends on your lifestyle, because I don't want to say this is a hard yes or a hard no. Yeah. It depends on you and the person's lifestyle, because some people are like long distance. Well, everybody's long distance right now, but like you might have a traveling job or something, right? Where you can't always be with this person. Maybe the time zone is different. So I don't want to say that that's a hard yes or a hard no. You have to really figure out if it works for you too.
Yeah. Yeah.
But again, 2 hours. In the beginning, 2 hours. For the first, I'm going to say at least 6 to 8 weeks, like 2 hours. Like give them something to crave, to want to be around you, to want to get your attention again.
Yeah.
all while still keeping the things that you were doing prior to even meeting them. Like I mentioned before, whatever it is, your hobbies, even hanging out with your friends and family. Some people have that bad where they get into a relationship or meet this new person and everybody gone. And then soon as that relationship don't work out, then they like, well, such and such not answering the phone, or they not, you ditched everybody. I'm supposed to be there, but you ditched me. Like, come on. So
Right.
keep up with your friends and family and just living your life, but also making time to get to know the other person.
That makes sense. So now we're talking about single people. Is there any, got some couples?
Yeah.
Is there any advice you can give couples that are now home together all the time? They're probably on the verge of being sick of each other. Like, how do you rekindle with someone you have to look at every day? You miss getting out, being away from them.
Well, again, figuring out what you can do for your me time to keep your sanity. And you guys having a conversation to say, hey, we be around each other all the time. You know, I love you, baby. Love you. But here's the thing. I just want to go in the room and take a nap. I just want to go take a bath. Like this literally, now this is my conversation. Babe, I'm going into the bathroom. No reason to come in there. I'm good. I need that time though. Like I need to be away from you. We got a toddler. This is why I'm in the garden. We got a 3-year-old. I need all y'all two to stay out here. And I need to go do me. Because I like to read a book. I like to just sit in the bathtub. I'm one of those people, I'm giving you TMI, but I got to say it now. I will sit in the bathtub so long that I let the water run out. And then I got to run some more because that's how much I like bath. But that recharges me. Like you laughing, but here's the thing. That recharges me. So when I come out of that bathroom, I'm like, baby, I'm back. And hubby, I'm back. And we can sit and laugh and joke. But I've gotten all of that stuff because it's a lot of stuff in everybody's mind, right? So I've gotten time to figure out and organize all that stuff up here. I might have even taken my pen and pad so I can write some things down so I can get all of that out. So when I come back to you two, my family, we good.
Yeah.
So and just have a conversation. What?
And vice versa. Hopefully the other partner has expressed their concerns for me time and is willing to share that with their partner. I need some me time, love.
Perfect. Because that's exactly what I was going to say. It happens. He's good. He might be playing this video game or something. Do you, boo? Whatever it is you need to do. And then because I am mom, right? I'm still running around the house. I'm still cleaning up. I need some time to just relax. So just be adults about it. Have the conversation. It has nothing to do. Like, don't take it personal if you're the person on the receiving end of I need me time. It's okay. Don't take it personally. Because then you take it a whole different direction and unnecessary arguments or even talks need to come up. Don't take it personal. Remember that you're still an individual in this relationship that you're building together. And so because you're an individual, you still have to do individual things that's going to make you happy because your partner, your spouse, they're not always going to want to do every single thing with you. Now, some people do, but most people don't. Don't want to always do everything with you. And that's okay. So don't take it personal if your spouse says, hey, I need some me time. It's okay. Yeah. Let them go. Don't call, don't text, just let them do them. When they come out, you're going to see they're so much happier and y'all can get along so much better. And there is so much more love, so much more laughter in the household. And if you guys have children are able to see this, and this is helping them establish that healthy boundaries, healthy relationship overall. So when they're growing up, they'll do the exact same thing because they see mommy and daddy do it.
Right. So what about when you're used to being in the, I'm just imagining, so we're in this quarantine and your house is starting to look like, it's the same place, you ain't been nowhere. Like, how do you revive an environment that you're stuck in? Is it good to designate areas of the house like this is where we go to have our dates, or what's something that the people stuck in the house together can do to kind of create that new space and help contribute to the ease of what's happening?
Well, I like the designated spots. The designated spots work. But if you can't do that because maybe your place is too small or you just don't want to do that, then just, again, set up the time. So I can be busy all day long, but from this time to this time, it's you and me. It's you and me. We're going to do whatever we're going to do. So at the very least, designate the time. And then some people are actually cleaning up their spouse, or I said spouse, cleaning up their place, rearranging their house or home or apartment, whatever you stay in. They're rearranging things so it can have that fresh feel to it. Other people are doing spring cleaning, like they're taking this time to really get rid of a lot of things that they're not using anymore. That decluttering of your actual space helps you declutter your mind as well. It declutters your relationship, period. So if you can declutter some things, rearrange some things so it looks like a new space, you'll feel better about yourself, and you actually have been productive during this time as well. And then getting closer with one another, connecting, being more intimate, the laughing, the joking, getting to know your partner once again.
I like that. So yeah, what else you got? There's so much good information.
Agreed.
Man.
Agreed. Okay. All right. Agreed. All right. Okay. Okay. So I'm a jokey person, which is why my personality, right? So that's me. My husband is more serious, and so the next thing that you can do virtually, if you're open to it, is to tell each other corny jokes. Yeah, corny jokes. Just where you guys can laugh. Yes, be creative. I told you this whole list is about being creative. So definitely telling each other some corny jokes or your favorite joke, or maybe you can reenact something. If you've taken like an improv or whatever, or you can explain what that actually is to the other person, right? And then you do something and then they have to finish it off. Just be creative so you guys can laugh together, right? Because when you're building your life together, life is so serious. And we got so much coming at us, especially in the Black community. We got so much coming at us. I don't want to come home to the seriousness of you and your junk, your baggage. So figure out a way. I know that we're talking about dating right now, but just when you actually get into the relationship, because again, quarantine is not going to last forever. So at some point, you guys are going to have to meet face to face. And if the relationship is moving forward, then you want to be able to say, I can laugh with this person. I actually like this person. I like being around them. Period. Like, we don't have to be doing nothing. And then that awkward silence that you were talking about, Chida, you don't have to worry about it. Like, it's not going to be a bother. You guys can be in the same room and be quiet. You don't have to talk to the person every single time, or you don't have to feel like you have to feel all of those quiet moments. Yeah, it's okay to just chill out. And be in your head or whatever it is that you're doing. Obviously, you don't want that to overtake it, but it's okay if it happens. Yeah. But laughing and joking will help everything. Another tidbit of information is, let's go into arguments, because that always happens. I actually like to call them deep conversations because we actually don't argue. And what I mean by that, we don't do all of that screaming, shouting, name calling, because all of that taints the relationship and takes away from it. So they're deep conversations. And when we have these deep conversations, the studies actually showed that when one of the parties during the argument or the deep conversation tells a joke, it actually breaks up the seriousness of whatever the conversation is. And you guys can actually recharge, reset yourself, especially if you've seen it start to go downhill. The laughter will be able to reset you guys. And then you can still have the conversation. You still can finish the conversation. But that seriousness, and you know how the environment changes, that will go away. So by telling the joke, by laughing with one another, you'll take the seriousness away from it, but you can still continue to have a conversation and still make your points. So jokes, laughter is everything.
Yeah. Now, should this be established early on? Like, should there be an understanding like, hey, boo, if we get in an argument and it gets a little too heavy, I'm liable to throw in a little joke to loosen up the stress of it all, versus like just hitting it with a joke. And it's like,
where did that come from?
Yeah.
I was trying to make a point.
You know what I will say is yes. However, because most people don't think about these types of conversations, right? You usually have to experience it and then have to go back and say, oh, I made that joke because blah, 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 blah. If you can think about it beforehand, of course, have the conversation. If you can think about it beforehand, but most of us have to go through that experience before the conversation is had. But if you're more mindful, right, because we're becoming more conscious and more aware of what we're doing, then yes, have the conversation prior to. And that's with everything. The things, I'm starting to get a little chilly out here, which is I'm chattering. Anyway,
Right. We're gonna wrap it up then because I know it's getting cold.
Yeah, it's starting to get cold. But the things that we're used to doing, the things that we're used to saying, if we have those conversations, as many as possible up front, you're letting the person into your inner world. You're letting the person understand you.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can hear you. I can see you. Okay, Marshawn is a jokester. All right, cool. So I know she's gonna probably throw in a joke. Cool. All right. So I'm not gonna take it personal because me personally, have a tendency to do it at the wrong time when nobody's laughing but me. But that's my personality. So that's my personality. My husband, he's okay with it, right? Because he knows he just say I'm crazy and we move on with life, right? But that's me. I'm not trying to change that because I like to have fun. That's it. Yeah. But yeah, establishing the conversations as much as possible. Yes, that's better than on the back end. But if it happens on the back end, you still can have the conversation.
That's good. That's good.
Marshawn, I know you're about to get cold. Is that okay?
Yeah, come on.
All right. Perhaps it's a comment, a little of a question, but my question is, how do we not allow the algorithms on the dating apps take precedence over our preferences? Again, the algorithms kind of sort of set us up for who it thinks it's a potential mate, but in the heart of hearts, if you're on there, you kind of know what you're looking. Well, you should know what you're looking for. So again, how do you avoid letting the algorithm supersede your decision making?
Okay, so interesting fact with that is most people that are on the dating sites put in. Oh, now this is research. Okay, so most people that put in what they're looking for, the height, all of the stuff that they're looking for, right? So the algorithm is actually giving you what you say in your profile. What the research actually shows is that even though this is what you say you're looking for, that's not the person you end up choosing.
Interesting.
So they actually did a study. I don't remember all the numbers, but I know that they did a study and they ran the numbers and they were doing what you're saying. The algorithm, they put in all of these great people that you're looking for. And even though you're putting all of this great stuff, that's not the person that they were choosing to go out on dates with. But that's also not the person that they built their life with either.
So they lied. The people that were searching were really lying to themselves.
But they also didn't really realize it, right? Because I'm saying that I want somebody smart, sexy, all of my stuff, right? But then when that person gets in front of me, maybe the inner work that we need to do, maybe I don't think I'm actually good enough for this person, or maybe I think they're too good for me, or I don't think I could actually handle this person. What I mean by handle is, am I going to be able to love this person that way? Am I going to be able to even respect or provide for? So all of the things that we have playing up here, which is why we should ideally do some inner work on ourselves before we jump into the relationship. So that critical thoughts, that critical voice that we hear goes away. Or at least it's very, very quiet, where you can just say, no, she's not good. No, she's not overly qualified for me. Like, I'm a great catch. And then you go after, right? So that's mainly where all of this is tying together. The algorithm is what you're saying. But then when they show you all the people that match what you put, you're not usually choosing that person, but usually it's because of some stuff that you haven't worked on.
Thank you. I'm sorry if I interrupted.
No, you're good. That was a great question. Those algorithms those apps didn't used to be like that years ago. They're so complicated now.
They're not complicated. Just mean what you say. If you know that you like what you're liking, then really say what you you know, and go after who you say that you want or like or interested in.
Yeah. It's
And don't be
nerve
scared.
wracking.
Yeah.
I literally have been on apps for 24 hours and I'm like, this is too much. To me, it's like shopping. And I actually don't like shopping. So I'm overwhelmed. There's too many selections. It's too much. Like, give me what I asked for. Let me check out. Like, come on. It's too many options. It's like a lot of a la carte. I don't want all that.
It's funny that you mentioned that because you actually fall into the pattern of so many other people, which is when there's too many choices, you don't make a choice. And that's one of the downfalls of online dating. There's a lot of pluses to online dating, but that one is a downfall. And then we have what do we call it now? Swipe right. Because we always think that somebody else is better. Somebody else is better out there. Yeah. I'm not going to settle on this one because somebody else is better out there. So we have that grass is greener effect, or I'm not going to choose you because even though intellectually most of us know that there are no perfect people out there, we're still looking for the perfect partner.
Yeah.
Intellectually, we know that nobody's perfect. But once we get on the dating sites, you're still looking for that perfect person that's never going to show up.
Yeah. I don't know if you got anything else. I got one more question for you. I know I'm being sensitive. We inside and you outside. You know, being mindful.
Okay.
My question is: should somebody be concerned if maybe somebody they're engaging with has like been on this app for like a minute? Like they legit been on there for. They're like a premium member. They got like platinum status on the app. They got all the stars and the golden circle around their picture, and it's like, yo, is this like how long you been on here? Like, should that be a concern? Should you be worried?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Here's why. Because just like Michael was saying with the algorithm, when you buy all those bells and whistles, you're gonna get more access to more people seeing your profile. You're being able to communicate with more people. But the bottom line that you're looking for is, how are they interacting with you? Are they being consistent with you? Are they showing up and doing the things that they said that they're going to do? Even if it's us making an appointment to have a date at this said time, are they actually showing up? Are they being respectful of your time? Just basically you're assessing how they're acting with you.
Yeah.
Are their actions matching up with your words? Because here's the thing, we're only looking for one person. And maybe I've been on there 5 years. I mean, that's long, but I'm just saying, maybe I've been on there for 5 years, but I still haven't found what I'm looking for. It doesn't mean that I'm trying to date everyone, but I'm still in the search for that one. Yeah. But it also could be some of what you said as well. Too many choices.
Yeah, got you.
So it's a lot of things. Go ahead.
I know, right? Let everybody know about your book club, like where they could find you, how to reach you, what's going on in the book club, when y'all meeting, what's that about?
So yes, I do have a book club where we only read books about life and love. And that is on purpose because most of us do not spend time there. I won't even go into that, but I'll just say most of us don't spend time in there. And so my main objective is and my mission, let's say that, is to decrease the divorce rate. So this is my second marriage. And a lot of the reason for that is because I did not have the tools, the strategies, the information. I was out here bumping my head like everybody else, right? So I didn't want to do that any longer. And I decided to do what Michael is doing. I'm working on myself. Right? I did a lot of work on myself so I can love on all of me inside and out and respect myself and just figure out who I wanted to show up as inside a relationship as well as outside a relationship. So that's one of the reasons why we read those type of books, because I am helping, even if you don't realize it, right? I'm helping you get ready for a relationship. I'm helping you to be better in your relationship if you're in one. So that is why we only read life and love books. And then on top of that, I actually have it through Black Professionals, San Diego Black Professionals on the meetup group. I have, no, I'm not even gonna say that because I don't even do it anymore. So it's on San Diego Black Professionals group. And then also we were meeting every 6 weeks at Spacebar, and La Mesa. Now we're actually, this Saturday, we're going to be discussing Come As You Are. And this book is by Emily Nagosi. And we're going to discuss that. The book discussion usually goes from 12 to 2 p.m. here in San Diego. Again, this will be the first Zoom meeting that we're going to have. So if you're interested, then I can give you the link to the Zoom and you can put it on here if anybody wants to join in. Even if you didn't read the book, it's all about just getting in on the conversation. Mm-hmm. And then if you want to continue on, then we can talk about that afterwards. But that's happening this Saturday from 12 to 2 p.m. if you're interested in that. And then otherwise, I do have my own personal book, which is helping you. What it's actually doing is, I'm sorry, let me give you the title. Reignite Your Relationship by 7X. It's actually on Amazon, but it is a book structured for couples. But even if you're single, this book is going to give you some more information that you can use before you get into the relationship, so you can see how you can show up while you're in the relationship. So it really doesn't matter what stage you're actually in, you can benefit from the book. Again, it's called Reignite Your Relationship by 7X, and it's on Amazon.
Sweet.
Thank you. I told Marshawn, we have a Black Yam Magazine book club that we haven't super been active in. And the whole purpose of the book club is to expose people to more African American authors. And so I think it'd be really cool to, have her book inside of that. So it's on the Black Yam Magazine's Facebook page. There's a group, a part of that. But Marshawn, we're so glad that you joined us today. So much great information. I learned a lot. I tend to think I know everything, and clearly I don't. But no, I'm joking.
None of us do, though. None of us do.
I know.
Are you learning to get to know yourself? We don't know everything, but do you know yourself?
Yes. No, in all seriousness, it seems like there's always these different facets of ways you can discover who you are, especially as you get older. I think sometimes we get locked into this is who I am at this age without allowing ourselves to grow or evolve as a person. So I'm definitely in that space. And, and I think it's good because we don't talk about getting, oftentimes in our community, getting books to help us navigate through relationships, what to expect, how to have those hard conversations. Like I mentioned yesterday, we kind of get our tools from television and entertainment, and we just kind of show up and we think that other person is like the person we saw on TV. And no, it's a real person. It's not a character,
Right.
So the fact that this is being interjected more to have these conversations about, how to be a better person, to go get a good book to help you in that growth process is important. And to say, I need some extra tools, it didn't all come inside of me. So I think it's awesome. But I would encourage everybody to read Marshawn's articles. We have some listed on the blackyamagazine.com website in the lifestyle section. You can see her content there. She's been featured in some of our previous PDF issues, but she is definitely accessible. She's on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. You do Twitter?
YouTube.
YouTube. Okay, YouTube. And if all else fails and you can't, get a hold of her for some reason, send us a message. We'll definitely get you connected to her. So, do you have any parting words, Marshawn and Michael?
Go ahead, Michael.
I leave you with this, everyone. Do your best to make time to get to know you, so they will benefit from you.
Yeah,
I like that.
You best to get time to get to know you, so they, your community, your village, your partner, can benefit from it. Thank you.
And I'm going to piggyback off of that and say that you have to continue to get rid of your baggage, all that stuff, all that junk, as I like to call it, all that stuff that keeps continuously showing up in this relationship, that relationship, that relationship. That's the stuff you need to work on to get rid of it, so it can stop plaguing you and you can stop dating the same person over and over again.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I like
so
that.
work on your baggage, work on that junk, get rid of it as much as possible. You can talk to anybody, right, who can give you some actual help, right? Because we all don't know it all, right? And
Mhm.
most of us, especially in our community, was not taught how to be in a relationship, how to be a good husband, how to be a great wife, right? Most of us are trying to learn these things. And so in order for us ourselves, we got to help ourselves. We got to help our community to decrease the divorce rate, because our divorce rate is the highest.
Wow.
It's the highest. So if we're being more intentional about the books, if we're being more intentional about just having conversations with the elders who have had these long relationships, a few things that you're going to hear: they went through something to get to where they are, especially the good ones. They had laughter and they continued to date each other. So if you can continue to date your partner, if you can continue to laugh with your partner, and of course, communication is sprinkled all throughout the relationship, you can create the relationship and love life that you want. You have to be intentional about it. It doesn't just happen.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, listen, I got a lot to think about. This is a great conversation. Definitely eye opener. Marshawn, thank you. Michael, thank you. I thank you guys out on Facebook land for joining us. We'll have this live up, and also there's a YouTube link of our conversations on the blackandmagazine.com website under Conversations in Black. All these are on our YouTube channel, and the videos are there to share and play again. So thank you guys. Marshawn, get warm, girl.
I know,
Michael,
right?
thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Great. And I will chat with you guys soon. Take care.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.